Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 2 of The Bus. This week, we'll be calling this one The Grand American Dream. Although it does have nothing to do with Grand Theft Auto, unfortunately, this week, we will be looking at some very interesting ideas and items that have been happening this week. First off, your highlights, we're going to be looking at esports and what can be changing as the future comes. Quite a few lies and rumors that have been going around this week in different areas. Some pretty amazing trailers and an interview with Mr. Dowdy Jr. A couple of items that are coming up in the future that may interest some persons. A little bit of gun game for some peoples that have gone a little gung-ho with their items this week. And we have a few birthdays, anniversaries, and a very important one for one of the most iconic pieces in space right now. Get ready, because we're about to take you to school. Alrighty. Oh, they're still working on getting an intro inserted there, but we'll look into that later on. So, as you can see, I have a new shirt. I actually got this in from Spring Tea. This is a limited edition Black Templar shirt. I'm not sure how well the shot is going to get, but there is one of the Black Templars, along with, and I'm not sure again how great the shot is going to get, but the creed of the Black Templars. Sorry if you saw my booty, but hey, what can you say? So, I'll be kind of showing this off again. It was a very limited print shirt, so unfortunately you will not be able to get this shirt probably ever again. I feel quite privileged to have gotten this shirt, as it is one of my favorite factions in the Warhammer 40k universe. So, I'm sorry, tabletop gamers and trading card peoples, but that's all you're pretty much getting this week. Not a lot happening with y'all, unfortunately. But there is quite a bit happening in the esports area. First off, our highlight of the week, Hentai site Faku gives a whole new meaning to Final Smash. At least that's what Destructoid has printed for their highlight on this. Pretty much what had happened is Faku, who most people may have not heard of or are now hearing of today or this week, is a hentai site. And again, if you don't know what that is, don't go looking it up, especially if you're a child. Save yourself, and parents, keep your children away from that stuff. Getting back to the subject matter, the site is sponsoring a Smash Brothers pro player, and it's very interesting that this is actually the second time a pornographic site has sponsored a pro team or pro player. YouPorn was actually the first person to do this. They have Team YP up, which of course stands for Team YouPorn. And they've actually been doing their sponsorship, I believe, since the beginning of the year already. And Faku pretty much was quoted from Jacob Grady, the founder of the site, as saying, "We're definitely all about supporting players we think are awesome, but we're also not making a giant move into the esports scene or anything like that." So it is kind of an interesting subject to touch on, whether this is appropriate for people to be exposed to, especially because Nintendo is more oriented towards families and younger children's. And it's going to be a very interesting way of how the sponsored person is going to be looked at from now on, as of course they are a professional gamer and there are sponsors of all kinds, but this could open very big doors for other companies to start jumping in and making their name be known out there in the gaming world. And pretty much YouPorn had the same stand on it, where they know gamers do it, a lot of normal peoples do it, and it's a good way to expose both the player or team, the site, and esport in general of being a legitimate thing. And it's something that it's breaking the innocence of how the fiber of the old world was and breaking us into this new millennia of 2000s, and how people are perceiving the world now as being extremely open. There's very little innocence left in our time frame, at least for now. Moving on to our next big subject, the first Skyrim mod was released today. Now, A lot of people are actually extremely upset about this, especially the 4, who is a person that was a major contributor to the mod that is in question right now. Let me find who it was real quick, and I'm extremely sorry if I pronounced their name wrong. But Chexko, Chesko, was the person that actually threw the mod up there. Now, it was a very... Sorry, their car just went by. But it was an extremely simple mod where all that was supposed to do was to allow your character to fish, from my understanding. Now, the controversy starts when, of course, you're getting paid for throwing the mod out there, and you're getting X amount of dollars, we'll say 5, just for the sake of, because I haven't looked into how much he was getting paid. But he was actually using 4, F-O-R-E. His mod did a little bit of tweaking to it, and then threw it out on the Steam Workshop and said, hey, here's my stuff, pay me for it, and have yourself a great fishing time. And it was actually attacked immediately by 4, and Chexko had to take it down. He pretty much burned the entire deal. He wiped out everything that he had ever made, wiped out any comments from either of them, conversation-wise, that was happening on his page, and anything that he had made comments around the internets. And then he pretty much closed up shop and is hiding right now, apparently. 4 is really after him at the moment, and it's going to be a very interesting case that is going to happen, because this is only day 1 of Steam doing this, and there are actually some ridiculous items. I've been browsing through Kotaku, and they had a small list of ridiculous mods that people are trying to sell already. I'll run through the list real quick. You can check them out, definitely. I'll see if I can provide the link below. A majority of the links I will be trying to give you, although it is a huge amount of items I'm going to try to run through here in the next 50 minutes or so. So, anywho, the mods that are in the very questionable or very silly right now is the golden potato mod, going for $10. Pretty much, you get a golden potato. It has no description of what it does for you, other than, quote, where's it at? Where is it at? Quote, it's a collectible, a food item, a potato, and golden. The golden potato mod is a true Elder Scrolls experience you've never had. Join the elite club of golden potato owners today. Unquote. That's a bit silly. There's another one for even more money, the extra apple mod, which pretty much leaves an extra apple on the desk or counter of one of the taverns, which, $30? Really? If you've actually bought into this for a kilobyte worth of extra info to be thrown in there, it's a bit odd. There's another one of microtransactions for $50. Do you have much time? Or do you want to go through the game as quick as possible? Well, you're damned luck. I'm introducing microtransactions, an easy way to pretty much run through the game. I'm trying to read as little quote as I can, but ridiculous, $50. Another one is rubbish. It pretty much throws in 3 extra items for you, and they're just junk. One looks like a poorly made welcome mat. I can't even tell what the other 2 pieces of crap are on here, but that's for about a half meg worth of info to be thrown in there. And the absolute ridiculous one, I think, in here is the Epic Helgen Bear Overhaul. For $100, you get a bear that is scaled to ridiculous size. The quote on here is, makes the bear in Helgen Keep caves much larger, resulting in a more challenging, realistic, dramatic, immersive, and lore-friendly final battle. Now that's just silly. I mean, $100, you could just throw your difficulty up for that one particular part and just beat the crap out of the bear. Oh man, I don't know what people are seeing in this. The ones that actually do make a little bit of sense to me and are silly over the top, but they're worth, I think, the money for them, is the Chicken Companion. He's only 50 cents, and he has the little iron helmet on that is extremely iconic to Skyrim itself. And the Fish Companion. For only $0.25, you get a walking fish. I think that's a bit silly, but hey, it might be worth it to some peoples. So, there's are your top 2 stories that I wanted to extremely look at, because they just blew up out of nowhere over the past few hours here. Moving on to other news, we have a last-minute report that I was actually able to throw in here right before I got home. This is only about an hour old, mind you, that there are reports of the Gears of War remastered, either the code or there's actual legit, let me see, test builds for it being shipped off to persons right now to try out. Now, I know a lot of people were pretty sad that I believe it was, who was it, Epic Games, said that they weren't going to be doing this, but apparently they are, or at least they're testing out something. So it would be very interesting to see if this is going to be like a HD remake for the 4 games. Well, technically 3, because I know a lot of people have some issues with Judgment, but it'd be quite something to see Gears of War, which I only got to play the first one, a little bit of it, and a little bit of 3, just multiplayer. But I would love to try this out. If it does come out as a remastered version, I'd definitely pick it up because I did not get to play this one. If not, we are confirmed, or at least have a little bit more of a rumored idea that there is going to be a Gears of War coming out either for E3 or later on down the road. So this could get very fun for fans of the series. See, I learned last time. A little bit of water do you much better, especially if you're going to be talking for as long as I am. Coming off the rumor mill as well, we have a Alex from Twitter, I won't say his last name, actually had a couple of pictures leak for Jared Leto's Joker. Now, this will be for the Suicide Squad. Batman vs. Superman are the hashtags and @ that were added to it. Now, I did get to look at this, and it does look like a very traditional, with of course a twist, Joker. It's going to be very interesting to see how Leto plays this out. I think he's a pretty excellent choice for it. I don't see any issues with him. I know a lot of people are having issues with Ben Affleck right now, but I'm not sure. I absolutely love the DC universe. I just hope they do justice for the Justice League movies that will be coming out over the next few years, because Marvel does need some major competition. And of course, Batman has done extremely well throughout the entire franchise being filmed. There have been a couple of ups and downs with it, especially George Clooney's items. But it would be very good to see competition between the two spark up around this time. I mean, you got the Avengers 2 coming out, and quite a bit more leading up to the Civil War for Marvel. DC, now is your time to do it. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the extreme foothold of, and I think you're just going to have to pretty much stick with the main characters. And Justice League won't do as hot as we think it would. Keeping with Twitter, there is a rumor going around, and it may be a confirmed rumor already, that direct messages are coming back. Now, this was an item that actually came out a couple of years ago that didn't do too hot, and Twitter realized this. They pulled it after, I believe, just a couple of weeks of testing it out, maybe a couple of months. And apparently it's coming back, so this could get a little bit of competition for Facebook as far as messaging goes. I'm not sure how I feel about this one right now. Twitter to me is just a post and done. I don't have much direct contact. If I'm going to have direct contact with you, I'm either going to have your phone number, some other form of messaging to get to you. So that is all of Twitter's time. Just to kind of cool down for a moment, I just want to talk about a few of the trailers that I'm actually going to be posting in the link below. My absolute favorite one, and it's the movie everyone's waiting for. And I'm going to turn the speakers up a wee bit so that you can hear a bit of it. Oh yeah.
It's not about control. Stand in. It's a relationship.
Just a little bit of that real quick. That's right. We got Raptors and Chris Pratt. And we got the Demosaurus, in there as well. And quite a bit more story thrown in there. Jurassic Park 2, the official trailer number 2, which I believe is called the Global Trailer 2 as well, is out. It was out earlier this week, and it is freaking awesome. I mean, if you weren't hyped up for this movie already, this will definitely get you in there. I know I'm crazy hyped up for this movie. I'm actually going to be dropping another hint about this movie in a couple of days on what we are going to be doing with it, and maybe a chance to go check it out and win an awesome t-shirt for, oh, I guess I did just drop a little bit of rumor mill, but I'll be letting you know what else is going to be going on for that particular competition, raffle, whatever we decide to do with it. Moving on to the world of YouTube, the Chitauri Scepter, the one that Loki's carrying as a staff all the time, the people at Man-at-Arms Reforged were able to do it, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, crazy replica of it. You have to see this to believe it. But these guys have made anything from, let's see, just going off the side here real quick, Link's sword and shield before. They've made an Iron Man sword, a lightsaber katana for Yoda, a replica of William Wallace is a sword before. So they made some absolutely astounding things before, and it's beautiful. You need to see this for sure. I wish I could play it for you, but it's a 10-minute video, and it's well worth seeing the process of something as amazing as this being rebuilt. So definitely check that one out if you get a chance to. That is their YouTube channel, AWME is their channel, or you could just look Man-at-Arms Reforged, and they did do the Chitauri Scepter again. Going on with more items, Conker's Big Reunion launched a couple of days back, I believe on the 22nd. It was a game made with Project Spark from the Xbox One with 10, I believe it was 10 free user-created games. It was pretty much a throwback to Conker, the squirrel from the Xbox original, if I remember correctly. It was an M-rated game. It was a bit of an over-the-top, silly kind of game, and quite a bit of it looked pretty fun. Definitely check it out if you are a fan of it, or if you have the Xbox One. Definitely check this out. Speaking of favorites, of course a lot of y'all know that I'm a big fan of the Warhammer 40k series. Not so much of Warhammer, the original fantasy, but I am a big fan of Total War. And when you throw Total War with Warhammer, you're going to get one extremely crazy looking cinematic trailer. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with either one, real quick, Warhammer is kind of like a Lord of the Rings type of deal, where you have the humans, elves, and dwarves as the good faction, and then you have the undead, the orcs, and other persons and peoples as other evil/neutral factions. And that's pretty much what we're looking at here. Total War is pretty much pitting an old school war game where you're going to have one army against another army. And if you've ever seen like an old school like Gladiator or Braveheart, something of that sort, you're going to have two armies pitted against each other, and you're going to just bash it out against each other. This looks absolutely ridiculous as a cinematic trailer. I know it won't look as good as a cinematic, but if it looks anything close to what Rome 2 and Shogun 2 look like, I have all the faith in Creative Assembly of doing justice for the series, and I think they're going to do a beautiful job with Warhammer. There's no confirmed date or anything else other than the trailer. There are links on the end of the video to go on their Facebook, Twitter, and main page to check it out to see the progress of the item unfold. So I would definitely check into it. It looks like a beautiful game, and I have high hopes for this game as well. Moving right along, right before we get out of the video series here, the last one, and probably the most interesting one of the week, was Mr. Robert Downey Jr. doing an interview with CBS. Now, if you don't know much about Robert Downey Jr.'s history, he has a little bit of a drug and alcohol history, as long as some big daddy issues going back to when he was much younger, and that's pretty much what drove him to these drug and alcohol addictions. And so he has a lot of feels when it comes to talking about any of those issues. And the interviewer accidentally slipped up and went that far as to dig into his dark history. And Junior just kept looking at him like, come on, really, guy? You're going to ask me this kind of questions? And he even questioned him one time, like, really? You're going to go this far? And he just kept going at him and going at him. And finally, and this is the first time I've ever seen Robert actually get up from an interview and just walk off the camera. Now, it's been going around. It was actually one of the top headlines in Facebook this week. And if you're a fan of Robert Downey Jr., check it out. If you just want to get someone or see someone get dissed really hardcore, this would be something to check out. I hope he's doing alright. I know he's set in for doing some more Iron Man for us later on down the road for the Marvel series of movies. But, God, I can't believe someone would actually push him to go that far. And it's really sad to see when history like that is brought up with persons and it pushes them to that edge. And, yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to feel after that interview of doing other interviews that are going to dig like that. Moving right along. I guess we're going to have a little bit of PC news here for a few minutes. This is going to be more for our fanboys and crazy enthusiasts. Razer just unveiled their new Razer Tactical Bag. It's designed to be beaten. They have multi-purpose compartments. Of course, you have their color scheme of the extremely bright green with black in the background. It looks absolutely beautiful. Pricing wise, I'm actually looking into right now. It is going to be $160 for this guy, but it does look very tactically sound, especially for someone that's going to be traveling with a larger 17-inch laptop with all their accessories, or possibly someone that has a mid-intermediate to professional graded camera that doesn't have a carrying case for, or just needs to go hiking with or something of the sort. This may be something to look into. But definitely, if you know anything about Razer, you know this is very gamer-oriented. The $160 price tag may not justify to some people, but I've had a couple of Razer products before, and I've played on many others that I have not owned, and I've got to say their build quality is absolutely astounding sometimes. I know they've had a couple of issues, and every company has had issues with certain items before. I definitely want to check this out, at least give a feel for it, and see if I like it before I go purchasing a new traveling backpack slash camera bag that I'm actually going to be looking into before the end of the year here. Moving right along, Thermaltake just dropped in their new Pacific RL and R radiator series. Now, this is going to be for you liquid cooling enthusiasts. Apparently, there's a couple of different things they did different with this one time, and I'm just going to do a quick highlight of. But I do remember reading in here because they have a lot of information about them, and how like their thermals are going to be better built this time, that they're going to completely redefine how manufacturers should be doing the radiator process. And there's actually a 10-minute video attached in the link below. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch where I want it to be at with this article, but I'll say at the top. But you're looking at a 10-minute video of how their actual manufacturing process goes, and he gets very fine detailed into the materials that they're using, the process that they're using. It's pretty cool, actually. Didn't know that this kind of work was put into making radiators before, and it looks really pretty. Something that they did that, again, I remember reading that was a little bit different, and I had a little bit of discussion with a coworker about this, was that instead of using solder, which that's the part we got into debate, was they're using a more of a welding or cold fusion process, to where they're actually melting the two metals, the grilled metal and the flowing metal that actually houses, and the chassis of it that's housing the grilled metal, and letting the water flow through, is cold fused together. That way, I believe it's supposed to just overall give better pressure to where the fans are blowing, and it's supposed to overall make the build quality better. So it's definitely something that is going to be cool to look into. I know I've already looked into one of the pieces for myself, and I think I'm looking around the $50 to $60 area right now for one of the smaller rads for the mini computer I'm going to be looking into building later on. But solder, I did not know that manufacturers are using that for their water cool blocks. I mean, I know liquid doesn't get particularly warm in there, but if you were to get it hot enough, I wonder if that solder would melt off and your radiator would just like leak everywhere. I'm not sure. I definitely have to look into it. If you do know what happens or can confirm or disconfirm that solder is used in the process, it's just something that I read. Definitely comment below and let me know, because it was a very interesting debate that I had with a coworker earlier. Moving into the more consumer and financial area, Yahoo Finance had an exclusive with Google earlier this week on how the Google Wallet funds are now going to be FDIC insured. If you're not too familiar with FDIC, it's pretty much the federal government backing up all your funds. So pretty much whenever you have a bank account, if anything were to ever happen as far as that bank being robbed or exploding, or somehow your money just like gets lost because of some crazy hacker or something, you are federally insured for X amount of dollars. It just depends who your particular bank is and what the banking laws are. Small business, big business, personal, what have you. But it's good to see that and to know that your Google Wallet is going to be insured by them, because that pretty much means if anything were to ever happen, you get your identity stolen or something of that sort, you do have that money that will be pushed back into your account. So someone goes on a crazy shopping spree and wipes your $2,000 out that you've been saving for something, boom, FDIC is going to back you up there. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I hope Apple follows suit if they haven't already, of being FDIC insured, because I know Apple is quite popular, especially with their new launch of items. The Apple Wallet or whatever it's called. I'm not a big Apple person, but it's something that they definitely need to look into if they are going to continue, or if items will progress and continue on this way. FDIC insurance will definitely keep a better peace of mind for persons. And I know I don't use Google Wallet as much as I should and want to, but now I know that little bubble of security is there. Staying on the item of phones, this one's going to be a real quick one. The OnePlus One, which is pretty much been branded as the flagship killer. So anything like the Galaxy series, the LG G series, the HTC One series, all of those, this phone is meant to kill off any and all of them. It's an absolute beautiful phone. I've actually got to play around with one. The coworker that I had the debate with from a couple minutes ago, he actually has one, and it's a ridiculous phone. I know quite a few tech heads and developers love this phone. I've got to, again, play around with it. It shoots in RAW, which is amazing for camera enthusiasts that aren't able to have their particular DSLR on them. It's a beautiful phone. Definitely check it out. Just in its vanilla flavor, it's got some pretty cool features to it, but you no longer need the invitation for it, so it's completely open for anyone to buy now. I don't know the price on it at the moment, but I know there are a couple of different flavors to it. One being the 32 gig and another being the 64 gig with expansion and what have you, so that'll be very cool to check out. Continuing with cell phone news, the Xperia Z4 is expected to launch later on in the later summer, maybe fall, but only exclusive to Japan. Now, we had a little bit of an issue with our Xperia 3 in that build quality kind of messed up on us, but we absolutely love the phone nevertheless. And we were just a wee bit upset to hear that Sony's going to be pushing the Z4 so soon. But being Japanese exclusive was something that we didn't hear right off the bat, and I actually did a little research into it, and the article below will definitely help back that up, that Japan, or Sony, I'm sorry, sees Japan being its strongest market, of course, because they're from there. It's the homeland, it's where they're from. They're extremely well known throughout the world. But apparently, their mobile market has not been doing hot anywhere else except Japan. And so they're going to only exclusively be launching it in Japan. A lot of people I know are semi-upset about it, but it may make a quiet release towards the European nations and hopefully the U.S. later on as the year ends. I know we had to kind of wait for the Xperia 3 to head over, but it's a little upsetting again to see that it's only going to be in Japan. But again, if you're going to be looking into getting a new phone, hey, 1+1 will probably be the answer for it anyway. Continuing on with news, we got a little bit of interesting and very awkward news from Kotaku again. Apparently, a man was arrested for allegedly robbing someone or a bank. I didn't quite catch it. In Brazil? Yes, in Brazil, with a PlayStation light gun. Now, the light gun looks similar to a SIG, maybe a P250, but it's a decently... Actually, I think I have one if you hang on for me for a second. Sorry. I know I have this gun somewhere around here. Alright, so you're looking at a gun similar to looking like this. This is my Taurus airsoft gun that I had laying around. And PlayStation light gun actually looks pretty similar to it. Apparently he robbed someone at a gunpoint and he got away with it for a little bit actually. He was able to fool the victims, but she was able to call up and get her stolen items back. But man, the desperation of some people to use that. Staying on the subject of guns, we have another crazy story from Colorado. A man actually busted out, again, his gun, and took 8 bullets to his Dell computer. Now this is an older style Dell where that was actually made of good size. Well, that's not even justifying, but I mean some heavy metal on it. I used to actually own a tower that looked similar to it, and it's a pretty good sized panel, but man, it must have really pissed him off because 8 bullets to it is crazy. Now the man was charged with setting off a firearm within city limits, but he was quoted as saying, "It was glorious," he said. "Angels sung on high." Man, I don't know what people are smoking up in Colorado, but damn, y'all are going crazy up there. Just that 8 shot into the computer. Man, that computer must have really pissed you off, man. Sorry you lost your computer, but hey, there's always more to be found and made. Alrighty, on to our rumor mill, and birthdays, anniversaries are actually coming quite fast to a close. For as many items as I had this week, I'm actually closing up pretty fast. I guess I must have blabbed on quite a bit last week, and I don't want to do it this week, so let's continue on. Mass Effect 4 is apparently in the rumor mill of being official, and possible launch dates hinting towards maybe next year or 2017. Now, this was in a Reddit piece that I eventually got to, and I did not read any of it, to be honest, but the rumor went that several persons have been given different surveys to take, and a lot of them started to connect the dots and actually thought that Mass Effect 4 is in the works, definitely in development stage from what they were understanding. So that may be something that will be discussed more when E3 rolls around in just a couple of, or quite a few weeks, but in a couple of months here. So we'll definitely keep up to date as much as we can on that. Going on, we have a big birthday. Congratulations to Ghost Recon Phantoms. This is their 1-year anniversary, and Maximum PC is actually teaming up with them this year for their 1 year. So, I'm just going to read it off to you real quick. They are going to give you early access and an early glimpse to the death match mode, which will be coming out at the end of their celebration, April 29th, which will be next Wednesday, when we're recording this. We're actually recording this on Friday, the 24th, for those who are unaware. Other than that, they're doing a loot drop. They're going to be doing this from the 22nd, which was 2 days ago from recording day, to the 29th again. They're going to be dropping anything from bronze, gold, and diamond lot boxes. Definitely look into that. They are dropping update 1.1.3.6. I believe that is actually taking place right now. If you haven't played it, it is free to play, so definitely go check it out. Their Twitch account is actually up, and they're doing quite a bit of fight against the developers from Athena. I believe that is the developers of it. If not, then it just mentions that in here somewhere. And finally, Maximum PC, where I originally got this from, is they're doing a gift for the birthday box. So pretty much, from my understanding, is you can gift someone a birthday box, send it to them, and then they'll unlock a special something. Now, this could be anything from a small XP boost. Again, I'm just going off of what I believe it would be. A small XP boost to maybe a gun unlock to something crazy. Now, the part that Maximum PC is throwing in this is, aside from giving their sponsorship to Ghost Recon Phantoms, is that they're also throwing in 10 one-year subscriptions to their PC magazine. Now, I know this might not entice a lot of persons, but if you've been a big fan of Maximum PC, or you want to get into PC building, or just into the PC world, is an extremely good place to start. I actually did quite a bit of my learning and reading from them, so definitely check them out. This event is only going on to the 29th. Once the 29th has come, the anniversary bash will end. Sorry, dog's downstairs. The anniversary bash will end, and the loot crates will unlock, or birthday boxes will unlock, and let you know what you have won. So, best of luck to everyone there. Speaking of computers, the AMD CEO is predicting that Windows 10 will launch at the end of July. Now, this is a very big one for persons that are still on XP for some odd reason. Vista, again, for some odd reason. 7 users and 8 users. In that XP and XP and Vista users, finally, y'all have a great reason to upgrade. It's been too damn long, and you need a new OS. Please, for the sake of yourself, do yourself a big favor and move up. You're going to be getting an unofficial price on it right now, which I would guess would be around the 130 mark, which is justifiable. And or just go buy yourself a new damn PC. But other than that, Windows 7 and 8 users, you're getting a free 1-year upgrade to it. After that, they're probably going to drop a promotional price for X amount of time to purchase it, unless it is in that 1-year period. But you're looking at, what, $30, maybe $60, which would probably be really justifiable again. I know when we were moving people's from 7 to 8, when I was working at my old job, they were doing that for, I believe, only $25 or $30, so it is very much worth to do the upgrade. You're going to get a flavor of Windows 7 with a little bit of hint of 8 in there. 8 will still be in the background, sort of, well, at least the styling of it, but definitely it is going to be more Windows 7 oriented, so you get your more traditional Windows back. People, just upgrade, please, especially if you're back in XP and Vista times. Other than that, before we jump off the PC persons here, the last part that they're going to get is Heroes of the Storm has an official launch date of June the 2nd. On top of that, they are also doing a beta time from May 19th until the end of the month. That's a good amount of time to play it. If you did not get the beta key or invitation for, it'll be your one chance or few days to try it out. It looked pretty promising. I've only talked to one person that's actually played it so far. He said he enjoyed it quite a bit, and I have not watched any Twitch streams of it, but I would definitely like to try it out. I'm a much larger fan of LoL and Smite. I haven't really tried out anyone else, but I'm a big fan of Blizzard, so we'll see how this turns out for them. Finally, of your Actually, I'll save that for second to last. Third to last. For the summer tour, this comes from Dual Shockers. I believe this is a PlayStation/Sony exclusive persons. They are listing the different cities that are going to be toured this year by the gigantic 18-wheeler that shows off the PS4 and Vita games. This will be hitting, let's see, Indio, California, Columbus, Ohio, Rome, Georgia, North Kingsbury, Rhode Island, Houston, Texas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Reddington, New Jersey, and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, I believe. This will take place from now, April 24th, and they'll be doing this in 2-day increments, so it'll be the 24th, 25th, 26th, okay, 3-day increments, but it'll be weekend increments throughout the rest of the spring to summer area. So you're looking April 24th through August the 16th. If you can make it, definitely check it out. I'll again list those below so you can check them out. I will be going to our festival is the Free Press Summer Fest, June 6th through the 7th. So again, that's where I got the 2-day from, for Houston, Texas. I know we got to see a quick glimpse of it last year, and it looks pretty cool. There is video highlighting all of last year's event. I'll definitely check that one out. Finally, for video games, before we move out and close up the session, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 will be out November 6th, and it has been officially announced, and it will be next-gen only so far for beta testing. So, PS3 and Xbox 360 persons may miss out on the beta testing time, and seriously, if you're still on these systems, you need to consider upgrading, because the Black Ops 2, when we were playing it on the PS3, would crash every so often, and I can only imagine what horrors this game is going to do to last-gen consoles. Now, Xbox One, PS4, and PC people, beta tickets are apparently going to be generated when you go pre-order at GameStop. According to the site here, according to Tipster, these pre-order cards will be handed out at GameStop this Sunday, which will be April the 26th. So definitely look into that. I know we will be picking this up for PS4, and we'll probably be doing this for the Extra Life stream this year, since it is so darn close and we're actually going to be playing this game. We were just trying to see what games to list out that we're going to be playing. So Black Ops 3 is our first confirmed game that we'll be playing for Humble Bundle, for the for Extra Life. So definitely check us out. I'll be giving more info as that draws in closer. I believe I'm going to be dropping actually the first video for it next month, so definitely check us out then. Finally, running out your news of the week, IBM and Fujifilm shows off what old school cassette tapes can still do. Apparently they found a way to fit, what was it, just quoting the website real quick, have figured out a way to fit 220 terabytes of data on a standard cassette. That's ridiculous. I mean, from my understanding, cassettes could barely fit not even a half gig, if that. And we're talking some old school audio from like the 70s, 80s, maybe even further back than that. But I only own maybe a handful of cassettes. Back in the day, I was more of a CD child, and it's very cool to see that the storage like this is still being made legitimate. I mean, I know people still use vinyl and CDs. MP3 and FLAC have definitely taken over the medium, and cassettes have pretty much just been like dead to a majority of persons. But this would be very cool to see cassettes making a comeback. I know the medium, well, however you'd like to say it, hasn't been used in several years. But it'd be cool to see it come back somehow. I mean, they could probably integrate this to go onto actual discs, and you're talking maybe double to 20 times because of Blu-ray. Actually, did I read that wrong? Sorry. Anywho, Blu-ray being significantly huge compared to a tape, and I can only imagine how many terabytes, if not zettabytes, you could fit on there if you were to go that crazy. just saying that real quick because I saw something. LT6 tape can hold 2.5 terabytes uncompressed on a cartridge about 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So 4x4, so you're talking about yay big by yay big across, and 2 centimeters thick, so you're talking an extremely tiny tape there. Finally, to round out our news, we usually do a very out there, very cool thing, and just a big congratulations to NASA and to the Hubble Telescope program. It turned 25 actually today, April the 24th. It's given us some absolutely beautiful and astonishing pictures throughout its 25 years in existence, going from just filming Earth to, or Terra, however you like to pronounce her, to the moon, the sun, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and then the entire universe as we know it has been seen, and we haven't even seen but what, I remember reading it one time that we haven't even seen but maybe 1% worth of what we can actually see with the Hubble telescope so far. And it's just absolutely beautiful what work this telescope has done for us. And hopefully she's got another 25 years in her to keep giving us extraordinary pictures. Sorry, heard something. Extraordinary pictures of the universe. Alrighty, other than that, that's all I have for now. And I actually kept this one a little bit shorter than last week's. If you didn't see last week's, there may be a reason for it. Don't think I'm going to publish that one at all. Also because it would be a week late, and I wasn't a huge fan of doing part 1. But part 2, this one that you're watching right now, I'm definitely going to publish. I'll maybe be publishing more, because if you haven't seen already, we had Mastery Monday, part 1 already. I got a review or 2 coming out, hopefully in the next week or so. I'm going to try to do this weekly, because I absolutely enjoyed reading these articles. I may have not read all of them, but it's just fun to see what's going on as with us as far as a gaming community, gaming in general, and geeky, nerdy type of news. Especially Hubble. Hubble was really cool. I did not know it was going to be turning 25 this year. And I'm a huge space person. I don't know what you would call us, but I absolutely enjoy sci-fi. Anywho, I'm going on about stuff that isn't important. What is important is that you should thumbs up, like, subscribe. What you shouldn't do is ignore and not comment or dislike, because if you dislike, I don't know why you're watching this, and you're trolling me, and we don't like trolls too much unless we're playing a game and we're agreed on doing trolling. But definitely give us a like. Share us if you wanted to. It'd be extremely helpful to get our name out there. I mean, this is only officially this year, this is only our 2nd video. 3rd if you want to count part 1. But I think overall this is like our 6th or 7th video. We're going to try. I'm definitely still going to try and make this something. I'm going to be posting up a lot more info on contests that are coming up. Hopefully you check this out before it becomes too old of news, or hopefully it is news that is relevant still to, that isn't going to be overwritten by part 3 and other pieces as they become available. So again, thank you for watching. I hope that you tune in next week and throughout the week actually, as I continue to post more videos. Thank you.